guys! So I have something really exciting to share with you guys today, and I'm so excited. I'm glad I get to share it with you. But I have the new BTS hand creams, and it's the full set. It's still in the wrapper, so I'm gonna open that with you guys today. So VT actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to participate in like their review. So they sent me the set to try out and let you guys know what I think of them. So they also sent me photo cards or postcards, but this is actually what I've had before. So I'm just gonna I can't do that. So I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through them. I know they're kind of hard to see. Let's use Jimin. But I've shown this before, so I'm just gonna go through them really quick. I got this when I bought a few items when I went to the pop-up store. But they sent me this as well. I'm not sure how it is in Korea, but I know in Japan, if you buy the VTXBTS version 2 items, they'll give you this if you spend so much like yen worth. But there's actually going to be 2 parts to this video. The first part of it is just an unboxing, but I'm also doing a review for it, which is going to be after the unboxing. So here's the lotion, guys. And it's just like the perfume. It has like a magnet, like, clasp, I guess you could call it, for the box, which is really cool. So there they are, all 7. The bottles are actually pretty big. I didn't think the hand lotions would be this big. A lot of times they're maybe like half the size of this or something. But it has each of the scent. So this one's Jungkook's one, Ocean. I want to try it, but when I do the review, I'll have tried all of them. But for today, I'm just going to try one. So of course, I'm going to go with Jimin's one for testing out today. Jimin's one. I just love it. So this one, the vanilla is a lot stronger in it. Definitely smells just like the perfume. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm just going to do a little dab because I don't know how much you really need. It smells so nice. But I feel like the smell is actually a little weak. But because it's a hand cream, it's probably best anyway because you touch a lot of things after. It has like that initial smell, and after I don't smell too much. Maybe because I used just a little bit, but once I put it on my hands, I actually don't smell it at all. Now it smells more like powder, more than vanilla. So we'll see how well the hand cream actually works on making your hands soft. And like I said, after this, I'm going to do a little more detailed review, but I'm going to have to get back to you after I've tried them all. That's basically it for the unboxing. Again, like I said, after this, I'm going to be getting into a more detailed review. And actually, before I end this part 1, I actually have a little quick update. It hasn't been very long, but now that this lotion has kind of like set into my hands, the smell's actually a lot stronger now. Like, it's a lot more noticeable. So that's nice. That's good to know. At first, it smells a little weak, but as it settles in, the smell gets stronger. I wasn't expecting that, but it smells really nice. So I'll see you guys in a little bit for the review. Okay, guys, so I'm back with the review, and I've tried every single one of them. They're back in the box neatly for the time being. Before I get into the little details of each scent, I want to give my overall like opinion and like what I think about it in general. Then I'll get into the details of each one. But first of all, I just want to say that I actually really like all the smells, except for one I could definitely go without, and I'll get into that later. It's not that it's a bad smell, it's just not my type of smell. But I'm sure lots of people do like it. It's just, like I said, it's not my preference. But other than that, they're all pretty strong smelling. I kind of feel like there's 2 like separate groups for them. One's kind of like the more mature one. It's a little more like stronger smell and kind of, in my perspective, manly. But it's not necessarily for men. It's just, to me, they seem a little bit more manly. And then there's the ones that are kind of more on like the fresher side. Good for everyday and kind of like not so overpowering ones. But basically, it's the J's and then the other 3. So what I mean by J's is Jimin, J-Hope, Jungkook, and Jin. And if anything, J-Hope's one and kind of Jungkook's are kind of in between. Like they are on the stronger side, but they still have like a fresh smell to them. But yeah, Hobi's one is more like in the middle. But I would consider it more of a fresh smell than like how I kind of classified the other one as like more of a mature kind of smell. And so for the ones I consider mature are Yoongi's, Namjoon's, and Taehyung's one. And I'm sure if you've smelled them or like read the description for the scents, you could probably kind of tell what I'm trying to get at with like the mature smell and the fresh smell. But yeah, I say they're in those two groups. So if you wanted to use like perfume and lotion together, you could, but I'd stick within that group because both the lotion and the perfume smells are a bit strong. So like it might not mix too well, but those fresh ones, like especially Jimin's one and Jin's one, I feel like can go well together because they're kind of similar. And I think Jungkook's one can kind of mix in well with like another perfume as well. But it kind of just depends on your preference. But for me personally, I'd rather just use one or the other, not both perfume and lotion, because it can be a bit overpowering and I don't like too much like strong smells. So using both at the same time is a bit too much. But for me, usually I spray on the perfume before I go to work, and by the time I get to work, it's kind of like not gone. Like it lasts almost all day. It's not as strong, so like I can always put on a different hand lotion at that time, but I can't do it both at the same time. The smells are pretty strong, especially when you first put it on. And one thing I really like about these lotions is even after you wash your hands, you can still smell them. Of course, most of the smell is gone, but like if you just put the lotion on, usually you can smell it like moving your hands around. You don't have to like put it close to your face. Once you wash your hands, then like you don't really smell it as much, but maybe the closer you get to your face, you can still smell it. And by like your second, third time, it's mostly all gone. But it does last pretty much the whole day. So if you put like some of the lotion on like your neck or something, you could actually use it in place of the perfume. So if you weren't able to get the perfume, or maybe the perfume was too expensive for you, it can also be an alternative for the perfume because the smell lasts so long. And as a moisturizer itself, it's really moisturizing. Like it's not like crazy like, oh my god, my hands feel amazing kind of thing. But I feel like if you constantly use it over time, your hands will feel better. But my hands aren't like super dry to start with. And it settles pretty quick. So it doesn't leave like a greasy, like oily kind of feeling like some moisturizers do. Maybe because it's a hand cream and not a moisturizer. But once you like rub it around and stuff, you know, let it dry for maybe like a minute or something. Usually it's okay to like touch things. You won't leave like afterprints and stuff. And the smells actually smell a lot nicer after it kind of like dries and settles in. I really like the smells after. When I first put them on, some of them are just too overpowering, but once they settle, they smell amazing. I just love them. And if you're not aware of the price, the full set, this whole box, is 48,000 won. So it's about $48 roughly, depending on like the exchange rate and stuff, which is not a bad price. Like I'm really bad with math, but I think it's about like $5 per bottle or something. But it does kind of suck that they don't sell it individually in case like you might not like a smell or like you prefer one more than the other. You run out of one and want to like restock on that one, you have to buy like the full set again. But I'm not sure if they're going to keep these around anyway. So maybe that might not be too much of a problem. It is cool to be able to get like all 7 scents. But that's just what I think about it. Nothing wrong with it coming in a set or anything. But that's pretty much it for like the overall everything. I'm gonna cut it off here and get into like each individual scent before I start blabbing on and this video gets too long. But for each individual scent, I do have my likes and dislikes of them. I have my favorites and my not so favorites. But overall, I pretty much like them all. Except, like I've said earlier, except for one I just can't bring myself to like. But I think that's just because I'm not used to the smell. And let me just kind of get into that one first. But it's Taehyung's one, Musk. And I think it's the first time I've actually ever smelt musk scented anything. I don't usually go for that kind of scents. I usually go for like the more refreshing ones like powder and cotton and stuff like that. Or like anything cherry blossom. is always one of my go-to smells. So it's not one of my favorites. When you first put on lotion, it's pretty strong. And like, as it kind of settles in, it does smell a little nicer. And like, it was bearable and I could like handle using it. But again, it's just not one of my favorite scents. But the description on the smell for that one is musk, dark amber. And it's profound and mysterious musk, woody with floral scent. So I think it's a bit mixed in scents, and maybe that's why it's kind of a little too overpowering for me and I can't really handle it. But if you like those kind of smells, I think it can be a really nice smell. It's just not something I'm used to, and it's something not for me. So next there's Namjoon's one, which is called Bois, I think. I'm not sure exactly how that's pronounced, but it's the woody one. It does have a woody smell. Like, it kind of smells like, not like bad wood or anything, but if you have like wood, like furniture, like I'd say they kind of smell like that, which, you know, it can be a smell that people like, it can be a smell that people don't like. For me, I'm kind of in between. Like, it's not one of my go-to smells, but it's pretty pleasant. Like, when I first put it on, I didn't like it. Like, most of these are pretty strong smell, but once it kind of like settles into your skin, it's a little more of like a pleasant smell. It's not as strong, but it's not weak at all. But it's not as like a sharp smell. So it smells like woody furniture is like the best description I can give, which is basically all you could say about it. It's, if you read the description on it, it's basically wood smell. But let me read the description for the product for you. So in the description for this one, it's spicy woody. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but like, it's a spicy wood smell, I guess. And it's a woody scent of tough tree and luxurious scent that retains the musk of old paper. So I'm not sure what they mean by musk of old paper, but that's Namjoon's one. So next we have Yoongi's one, which is the next one I consider a mature one, which is Vert. And his one is like a greenery one, kind of meant to smell kind of like foresty. And it definitely does. I feel the lotion isn't as strong smelling as the perfume itself, but like, it kind of just reminds me of a car freshener, but with more of a pleasant smell. Like, I'm not a big fan of that green smelling car freshener, but that's not a bad smell. Like, I'm sure everyone smelt it at least once in their life, but it kind of reminds me of that, although I haven't smelt it in a while anyway, so I can't exactly say it smells the same. But it has like the green smell to it. Basically smells like a forest. But again, once it settles, it's a really nice smell. Like, I like it. I didn't like it at first when I first put it on, but as time passed, I was like, oh, this doesn't smell bad. I like it. By the way, I'm using the citrus one right now. But anyway, yeah, it was a nice smell. Again, it's not for everyone. Some may like it, some may not. But the description for this one is mossy green. So I guess it kind of makes sense. It kind of has like more of a mossy smell than like a pine smell to it. But it does smell like what you think of when you think like green, like greenery, like forest kind of smell. So that's what it is. And it says cool scent of natural spices that have natural freshness. But that's the most I can say about it, is it smells like greenery. Then I have the cotton one, which is Jin's one. And that one, I feel like the smell was stronger than the perfume. If you've seen me talk about the perfumes, that one smells like really weak. And like, I feel like the smell kind of disappears really quick. But for the cotton lotion, like, it's not strong. Like, I can't say like it's overpowering or anything. But it definitely, like, you can smell it without having to be like close to it. Like, if I'm just like holding my hands out, I can still like smell it in the distance. I don't have to like do this to smell it, but like, it is on the weaker side compared to the other three that I mentioned earlier. And when I did the first impression of Jimin's one, I kind of mentioned how that one didn't really have a smell, but towards the end of filming, like, it kind of had a stronger smell, and I kind of mentioned that. It's kind of the same with this one. This one had more smell than with Jimin's one, but it was weaker at first, and as it kind of settled in, it had more of a stronger smell. So it's a bit opposite of the others. It's definitely one of my top ones. As I've said before, I like that fresh smell. And with this one, it actually has a little bit of like a floral scent. I don't remember if the perfume had like a floral scent to it, but for the lotion, it has a bit of like a floral scent, and you can really smell like it has that cotton fresh smell, and like it has a floral smell like mixed into it. So I really like it. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorites. But the description on the bottle itself is romantic clean, and it's soft, warm, smooth fibers with a floral scent. So that's basically self-explanatory. And the next one is, of course, my favorite, Jimin. As I said, that one's my favorite perfume as well. But it's just like that perfect mix of the kind of smells that I usually like. Which I wouldn't say powder is my favorite, but vanilla is definitely one of my favorites. And other than cherry blossoms, that's one of my other like go-to smells. So of course, I knew that one was going to be my favorite. With the lotion, like I said, it barely had any smell when I first put it on. But as time went on, it got stronger and stronger. And like I could smell it really easily. And same with all the others. Even after washing my hands, I could still smell it. Just it wasn't as strong. I'd have to like put my hands like closer to my nose. But I think that one's like more perfect. It still was a bit strong, but it definitely is one of the weaker ones out of the bunch. But because it's more settle smell, it's a perfect alternative if like perfumes are too like strong for you or anything. So it's definitely one I suggest if you don't like really strong smells. But the description on the bottle for this one is vanilla powder, and it has a sweet and powdery scent with vanilla base. So again, kind of self-explanatory. Then I have Ocean, which is Jungkook's one. And the Ocean one, I'd say basically smells like what you think of when you hear like ocean scented things. Like most of the time they kind of have like all a similar smell, and it basically smells like an ocean scent. But I don't think they smell like actual oceans. To me, they don't anyway. But it smells like most ocean scents. And with his one, I'm kind of iffy about. The smell itself I like, but it was pretty strong. And I don't know if maybe like that day I kind of did have a headache. And like, I don't know if that was kind of the reason, but I felt it was just too strong and overpowering. And like, once it kind of settled in, it was more pleasant, but it was still a bit strong, and I kind of couldn't handle it too much. So we'll see as I like use it again and stuff. Maybe it just wasn't a good day for trying it out. But it was a bit strong, like stronger than I would expect. And for this one, the description says Ocean Aqua Denim. I'm not sure what the denim part for it is. And it also says a scent that reminds you of the ocean on a refreshing and bright summer day. And like I said, if I have to compare it to something, it basically smells like most ocean scented things. But of course, it has its own like unique smell to it. But that's the closest way I could explain it. And again, it's pretty self-explanatory, ocean. And last but not least, Hobi's one, which is citrus. This one, like I said, is kind of in the middle. Like, it's refreshing, but it's also kind of like on the stronger side. It's not as settled as the others. But when I first put it on, it basically smelled like you just peeled an orange. And it had like an extra smell to it. I don't know how to explain it. In a way, it was a bit weird. But like, it did basically smell like you just peeled an orange. But now that it's like settled down, like I said, I'm using it now. Like, it smells really nice. I like it. All of them, I like the smell once the smell kind of settles. But when you first put it on, it's a bit overwhelming. But it kind of smells like sweet orange. When I first put it on, I'd say it smelled more like sour orange or like maybe bitter orange. But it kind of smells like sweet citrus now, which is what they were going for. So the description for this one is citrus, sweet, fruity. And it's also a aromatic mandarin scent that is fizzy and sweet. So maybe it's that fizziness that kind of smelt a little weird. But that's basically it for the citrus one. I do like it. So that's pretty much it for all the lotions. I know I kind of went through them like briefly and quickly. But for the most part, they smell like their description. There's not too much to say on it. Like, other than being able to say which one's like really strong in smell, which one's a little weaker, which one I like personally. Of course, everyone's smell is different, but that's just my opinions on them, as well as the description of the cream itself. But as I've said many times, after it settles in, They smell really great. They smell really pleasant. I love them all. And because they last all day, even better, it's nice. And it doesn't have like that greasiness either. So it always feels really nice once it kind of like settles in and kind of like dries. But it's still like moisturizing at the same time. So I really have nothing to complain about it. I'm glad I had the opportunity to try it and kind of give you guys a little like input on what I think of the smells, as well as giving you descriptions of the product itself. So hopefully they'll make it more like global, because as far as I know, it's Korea only right now. And they have the pop-up store, which is going to be opening on the day I post this. And I know Japan has a pop-up store every once in a while. I think the perfumes were available in the US for a bit. I'm not too sure on that. But hopefully you guys get the chance to get it if you guys want it. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'm sorry if I like missed anything or left anything out. But if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. As well as subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'll see you next time. Bye!